Hey, in this segment we're going to work on what's the main feature of Christmas for every home, which is the Christmas tree. As you can see, we have a variety of ornaments in reds and greens, the best-selling and most traditional color for Christmas of every year, no matter what. So at first, we always get tons of questions on how do I shape my Christmas tree. As you can see, I have already started with this one. Today to show you, I'm using one of the slimline trees, which are becoming more and more popular each year since people don't have as much room, and or maybe you don't want to have to rearrange the entire house to fit a large tree in. So this is a 9-foot slimline. So as you can see, it's only about 3.5 feet across at the bottom, even though it is 9 feet tall. So when shaping your tree out, you want to lower the branches. And of course, we've got a pre-lit going, but I'll also discuss how to do your lighting. So as you lower your branches, I'll just lift this one up slightly so you can see. Always start at the back side. I like to do a section at the time because I'm not having to fight the entire tree. So then just space your branches out. A lot of the trees, particularly the most basic, are set in a triangular pattern. So you will have at one level 1 prong up and 2 out, and then it alternates. So you'll have 2 up and 1 straight down. But just spread those out, but always facing slightly toward the front, as trees don't typically just all grow out. You'll have a little more natural look that way. Then just come on out, get everything having its space, and then the tips, which on this one, as you can see, this is one of our designer lines, so you've got a lot of different texture going on at the tip. Again, spread out nicely, fanning, no flat, no bottle brush look. Just spread everything out, give it its space. You've got plenty of room to hang then. And continue that way all around the tree. Now, if you have an unlit tree and you're wanting to do your own lights, the easiest and fastest way that I've always found over the years is, again, run your cord into the base, to the trunk of the tree, and then literally just weave in and out close to the center stem of your branch. Come over and weave in and out down the other side. Keep working yourself around the tree and upward. Then when you go to remove the lights at the end of the season, all you have to do is pull and they just slide right out. So that makes it very fast, very easy, and you get extremely even lighting. So while you all are able to relax, I'm going to continue on and fluff out the rest of the tree, and we'll start the next section of how to decorate. Now that the tree is all fluffed, we're going to start with ribbon and a top piece. So to learn how to tie your bows, refer back to our bow tying video. And you'll remember you of course can do the tails any length you desire. In this case, for a tree topper, I've chosen this, and I'm only going to do 1 bow for the tree today, combined with what else we're going to do. Normally, if you're only going to use bows on the top of your tree, I use a minimum of 2 bows this size, or preferably even 3. That way you've got a good all the way around look. So we'll attach this bow up at the top of the tree, just to the side here, and tie it in. Spread the loops out, and we will ripple those tails just a little bit so that they've got movement and don't just hang straight down. Like so. Now, for the topper of the tree, of course, lots of times you see branches chosen and things that are sticking out at the top of the tree, and every year then you have to pull them out, bag them up, and next year figure out what you did the year before. So I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to put together a topper and tie it together so you've just got a single bundle, slip it into the tree. When the season's over, pull it back out. If later you decide to change your mind, you can drop it down into a vase, use it as an arrangement. Or if you want to break it apart, just clip your wire and you've got individual pieces to use some other way. Okay, so we're going to just pull a few things that are fairly long and tall and airy. So I've got 3 branches of this fern curl. We'll use maybe 3 branches of the green. Glitter, of course, always adds lots of sparkle, catching the light. Okay, and we want everything to just have a slight curve out to it. Spread it all out. Okay. So I'm just working my way around everything in the circles. We have some tall gold ball sprays. And I'm just going to stick a couple of those down the middle. I'll spread those out just a little bit. There's no hard and fast rule. You just want airy, kind of even, get plenty of space going on. You can always adjust later if you need to. Okay, let's do one more gold. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, and then for some fullness, where we insert into the tree, let's add some of the red pine. And we'll do maybe 4 of those to get good coverage all the way around. Okay, now we can take either the red or the green. This is wired tinsel that we're carrying in our stores at Trees and Trends this year, and it's just handy for a number of uses. It's great for package tying, it's great for hanging ornaments on the tree, doing anything that you might want to do. And all I'm going to do is take a length of it and twist around the top as tightly as I can. And I'm going to leave an end sticking out, and then I'm going to just wrap. Hold that and just spiral down. Okay. Take the wire cutters, clip off a section, and since this is so flexible, I can just loop it around and tie, pull, and just bend it back the other way and wrap that and tuck the end in. And it's all secure. Then this tip up here, I can just take a finger, wrap it around, create a little spiral up, and now you've got a decorative holder if you want to drop it into a glass vase, or we're ready to insert it in the tree. And so all we have to do is climb up here and not fall off, and insert down into the trunk, like so. Take a couple of the tips from the tree itself, twist around, and you've got a nice spray topper coming out of the tree. Adjust your ribbon a little bit. Now, if you wanted to do a second one of these, we could do it up here which we'll do in a moment. We'll add that. But now we're going to deal with the rest of the ribbon. Now, this way that I'm showing you with the ribbon requires no bow tying. Gives you a very full look and actually uses less ribbon than it does when you're spiraling around. An easy way to measure is just stand and pull out the full length of your arms and cut. And so we'll just make some separate piles. And we'll do this with a couple bolts of the ribbon. And if at the end of the roll you end up with a shorter length than that, don't worry about it. Go ahead and keep that too. And I'll show you how to deal with that when we get there. So we'll just toss that down. We've got 3 different patterns of ribbon plus mesh to put on the tree. You can go ahead and trim your ends at this point or wait until you get it on the tree. I would just go ahead and wait. That way if you decide you want something a little shorter, you can, but we'll just leave it at this length at this point. Okay. And our third pattern, which is the polka dot. Doing a tree is always messy, so never worry about cluttering up your floor. It will get better soon. Okay, this is our last length there. Okay, now we can take a full-length piece, a shorter piece. All you're going to do is just kind of loosely gather in the center. Well, so your patterns are mixed. So you've got it just like this. Let's move the ladder over here to this side, and we'll start right below our topper piece that we just made. And all you're going to do is just tuck that in like so. And then spread out the tails, ripple slightly. If you need to, if this starts to loosen, just take a tip of the tree and just bend it over like a hook. That'll hold it. And work some tails toward the back so that you get coverage all the way around. Alternate. We don't want 2 of the same kind side by side. And that way if you spread out some, your tails are on a slightly different level, different length. Do the next one. Again, take all 3, loosely gather. Sometimes you don't even have to grip in the middle, that way you'll have short on one side, longer on another. Okay, and then stagger. So you can drop down, but alternating back and forth in different areas. That leaves you empty areas for ornaments. And just gives you good even coverage. You may have always been taught growing up that your ribbon or garlands go on last, but why would you do that and end up covering up the ornaments that you just put on the tree? So this way you can get the biggest bang for your dollar by putting your ribbon on first and then hang your ornaments in the clear areas so that they're seen the best, particularly those that are heirloom ornaments or collectibles that you really, really want to be seen. Okay, so I'm going to continue adding my ribbon, and then in a few minutes we will start in with some of the ornaments. Now then, we start with ornaments. And I always start with the largest first. And generally, I don't even use hangers on these. The wonderful things about the tree is you can just pop them in where you want them. Now, this reflects light out, helps make the tree look even fuller, but it gives it layers. You want everything to have layers and depth. So you don't want everything hung on the outside because it just looks really shallow and flat. So we want to give everything depth, and we're just going to tuck these in various places. I've got red, green, and gold, which reflects the colors that we've used in the ribbon. And you're going to work all the way around the tree this way. Let's get one up in here. I've got shiny and matte both. That again gives you some variation, and the shiny especially reflects the light really well. We need a gold down in here. Occasionally one will come tumbling out the bottom, but it really is very rare. Work your way all the way around, because even on the back side, the light reflects through, and you can see, and that just continually gives you more depth. And we need a green. Notice I'm using different shades of green. This is the bright Christmas green. The bluer, well, we've got lime and moss apple green on the tree. More shades or variations of a theme also make everything a little more interesting than just using one color. As you can see, this goes really fast. I have a green there. We need a green up in here. Just step back and kind of see where you need more color. Let's see, I'll do a shiny gold. Do another gold over in there. And let's tuck a red in under our ribbon right here. If one wants to push out, you can always wire it in, but most of the time you won't have to unless you've got a really, really open tree. Okay, now once that's done, we want to start with our largest ornaments, and most of those are novelties. I have chosen for this tree both some fun things, signs. I mean, always think about picking things, especially your larger items that you can use in multiple places. This, of course, can hang on a wall, hang on a door, hang on a wreath, but it also works well in the tree. So if you change your mind and want to switch your themes up later, you can use it somewhere else, and you're not ending up scrapping everything. So I've got this. I have large ice skates. On a more serious side, I have word signs of joy and hope in both red and green. And then also with the larger, I have the candy canes that are all beaded, and again repeat my colors from my ribbons. So let's choose places. When I'm going to do placement and when I'm purchasing ornaments for a tree, I generally never buy less than 3. You can do 3, 4, 5, 6, however many you want, but I generally at least do 3, that way I can get full coverage on a tree. So I'm going to select a spot, and since the hanger's already here on this, now I really rather would not see them hanging just flat. You like an angle. Again, just like we do on wreaths, garlands, teardrops, you want some movement. Use your greenery to assist you in holding rather than extra wires. So if we do that there, then we would want to move to a different level on a different side of the tree. So for instance, if we've got one down there, we might want this one to go over here. And then a third one around at a different level. So again, it's sort of like working anything in a triangle. And of course there we knocked some of our loose balls out. But that is not a problem. As you can see, I tucked it right back in. Okay, I'm going to use another end to hold this at an angle. That one's really going to be stubborn. We'll push it in there a little more and fold up a tip to hold it. Okay, and tuck our gold one back in. Now, we'll do the same thing with our word signs. We'll put a hope down here and let it dangle. If we want to use the ribbon for decor, we can then also loop that over, or you can literally cut those off and just get rid of them. But since we have some of the bright green running up through our ribbon, we'll keep that going too. And we'll do a hope up here. And tilt it just a bit. And we'll do a third hope around here where you can't even see, but the people outside would be able to. Again, getting full coverage of your tree. Our other large ice skate, I think we'll do that right in here. So it's going to be a main feature. And you'll loop that tip around the blade part of the skate to hold. And we'll fold another tip through the loop of a bow. Just something to attach it. Nothing that we're using in these is breakable, so that always makes it good, just in case it falls. Okay, now I'll keep adding these items, and we'll be ready to add the smaller ornaments in just a minute. And have it fully decorated without that many pieces. So now then, the next step would be to add some branches and add some air. And so you're just going to randomly tuck these in. And of course, I'm going ahead to make it fewer steps. I'm actually layering two pieces together as I go. And just put a little curve in it. And this brings the tree out even further. Again, using this is what we would call giving it some line, giving it some texture. And of course, all of this empty airspace in here is what we call capturing air in a design. Because even your negative space or airspace is just as much a part of your design as the element that you're using. So again, we get some curve going and just layer it up and tuck in. And we want to work all the way around the tree, randomly giving even coverage. Shape out like so. And we're going to tuck in down here. You generally don't have to bend anything. You don't have to do anything additional. Just stick it in. And at first it does look funny because you don't have even coverage yet. But as you go and work your way around the tree, it suddenly starts all making sense. Remember, if you put something in and it doesn't look right there as you go, just pull it out, move it over. Don't get all frustrated. It's supposed to be fun. It is Christmas after all. And getting frustrated will put you on Santa's naughty list. Okay, I'm just going to work my way down the tree and finish this off, and then we'll add our smaller ornaments and your tree will be finished. Now that we have all of our branches in, and you can see we've captured a lot more air, the tree looks much fuller. It also softens the edges of the tree. It just gives you more textural interest. And texture is really what's all about as far as making things interesting. Now there are other items that you could add instead or in addition to. You can add floral if you like more of a floral tree. As you can see, again, all you've got to do is just tuck that in. Pieces that have also the berry and the foliage with the spray rather than just a single flower. Really fill your tree in a hurry. Or if you have a plain tree, just your basic foliage, and you want to add more texture or a little more of a fresh cut look and upscale what you've got, then you can insert greenery sprays with different textures, and all of a sudden if you insert a few of these in, you've got a really flowing long branch or long needle pine look as opposed to that smaller bottle brush cut that many of your basic trees have. So those are just other options that you can do as you're working on your tree. Now at this point, when we've got all of this done, we can add our small ornaments. And of course today we've got several shapes and patterns that add to our tree. Of course, I've even got some ornaments with a little bit of the white, the same as we do the ribbon. That just brightens the tree up and keeps it from looking dark. Keeps it from looking quite so serious. So we're going to add those now and add the tree skirt, and you can see the finished product.